with us. Flock with us, flock with us, flock with us.
All right, Keith. Keith, are you ready for this?
First podcast, let's do it.
Is this your first one?
Yeah.
Yeah? Your name's Keith. Keith what? You just go by Keith?
Keith.
Keith. Keith, what do you do? This is interesting because I have no idea who you are. I met you one time before. Is that a toe?
It's supposed to be a thumb, but I think it looks like a toe.
It looks like a toe.
Yeah. It's just my blade guard for my knife.
Is that a toe?
Yeah. But
All right, just Keith. Keith, what do you do?
I'm a full-time creative. I make birds, whittle things, feathers now,
Out of wood.
out of wood, and build things.
What do you do? How'd you get into that?
Um,
Tell me, what about that story you told me about the Seattle?
yeah, I was living in Washington, and I met this dude. He kept bugging me, like, hey, come out, have dinner, blah, blah, blah. And he kept telling me, bring your swimsuit. We got a hot tub. And I'm just like, I don't want to take a bath with strangers. I'm like, damn. So like I kind of ignored him and avoided him. And I accidentally answered the phone, and it was him. He's like, hey, man, we're having a fire. And I'm like, it's kind of, arguing with my old lady. And I'm like, fuck it, let's go out there. So we go out there, have a fire. Super cool dude. Like, he built his own log cabin. He's like a master carpenter, teaches like the carpentry college, Union College in Seattle. And I go into his house, and he's just got these birds, like flocks of them everywhere in all corners, big ones, little ones, painted ones, black ones, brown ones, white ones, like a bird picking a fish out of the water.
All made out of wood?
All one piece of wood. And I'm like, what the fuck? And they all look like birds. They're more like a sparrow style. And I'm like, where do these come from? He's like, I made them. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I'll show you. So he showed me on the spot. And I'm like, dude, you have to teach me how to do this. And he's like, come back tomorrow and help me clean this tree that fell down in my front yard, and I'll give you a lesson. And I'm like, done. So I went back the next day and helped him for a few hours, and he gave me a lesson, and I picked it up instantly. And he gave me like a loaner knife and a bunch of bullshit wood at first, and for every 10 birds I tried to make, I'd lose 9 of them,
Just wouldn't work. And it's all made out of one piece of wood.
Mm-hmm. But the wood's got to be like a very specific, the grain, the direction. You got to split it like exactly perpendicular, and the opposite way you would think. And then it's just all about like the pivot point and the interlock. And yeah, the mortality rate was pretty high.
Really?
For the longest time, yeah.
How many cuts do you have?
I've cut this finger off.
No.
And they sewed it back on. Don't know how, with the ligament and tendon and everything. I couldn't move it for the longest time, and I severed the artery in this one at the same time. And then I've cut myself pretty bad.
Oh.
Consistently, but it doesn't happen anymore. Very rarely.
But you do fall.
I did just fall.
But you didn't have a knife in your hand. That's a good idea. Did you hurt your hand?
Yeah.
Is it going to affect the whittle?
I don't think so.
Does it hurt a whittle bit?
I just did this one. Should again.
Did you hear that? A whittle bit?
Yeah.
Do you like that?
It's fun.
Do you like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm an asshole.
No.
It's okay.
It's a thing.
Okay. So how long you been doing this?
About going on about 4 years.
Yeah. This is this is not what you dreamed to do, is it?
No.
Not at all? Just kind of fell in your lap?
Yeah, it's just kind of like my thing. I'm just really good at it. And it's like, everybody's, you must be so patient. I'm like, I'm not patient at all.
Yeah, you seem like you're kind of like go, go, go.
Yeah, so it's like, this is kind of like therapeutic, I would say. And it's like the best, like, everybody's like, do you sell them? And I'm like, it does so much more for me to give them to somebody. Like the feeling that, gives me, and the connection I make instantly by giving it. It's like, it's opened some doors for me for sure, and it's just makes me happy.
That's crazy. How long does it take you to do one of those little hummingbirds?
Honestly, not very long anymore. It used to take me probably an hour, and then at least 30 minutes for the longest time. But now I think I got it down to an easy 10 minutes if I'm talking.
Really?
Front to back. 7 minutes of
you're just doing it. Like right now, like if you're not looking at this, like.
Yeah, I time myself all the time.
You see what he's doing? He's literally just like whittling. He's making the wings.
Like at first I didn't know what was going on, and then I look at his hands and he got a Tweety bird in his hand.
Yeah, already.
Yeah, most of the times when I actually try to show somebody, like they're like busy talking or something, and I'll just be like talking to them, and they're looking at me like, "What?
Where did that come from?"
Yeah.
And it's all one piece of wood. What kind of wood is that?
It's old growth red western cedar. It's over 1,000 years old. This piece of wood.
You got to do anything to it to prep it? You just take it and cut it?
Soak it. I soak it.
How long does that take?
Depends. If you use cold water, it takes weeks. If you use a crock pot, hours. But just recently I built a steam box and got a decent steamer, and so I steam things now, and it doesn't take long at all, maybe an hour, 30 minutes, dries out pretty quick, but
that's insane.
It's allowed me to make much bigger birds for sure.
Wow. So what else can you do with wood? Anything?
I just started making these feathers.
These ones?
Mm-hmm. No, those are from pallet wood. I make great big ones too, like. Yeah, I just made this awesome double-edged feather sword too, out of a piece of pallet wood.
Just because you're bored?
Well, I was really bored. It was just like, I should totally make a feather sword.
How do you come up with that?
Well, somebody said something to me, and I'm like, I kind of thought it was childish when I thought of it at first, and it was like, they said something that'd be really cool, and I'm like, done. And I started making it on the spot.
It's easy. It looks easy for you. 4 years? You've been doing this 4 years?
On and off. When I cut myself really bad, I was probably out of the game for at least 6 months. And I went through this whole phase of like, scared of the knot, but like after I was like, Keith, it did not hurt.
Right.
Because it was like, it never hurts when I cut myself because the blade is so sharp, it just bleeds.
Wow.
So now it's just like when I do cut myself, it's like.
So I guess you can't just go into Home Depot and say, hey, give me some 1,000-year-old wood.
No, not at all.
Where do you find the wood? Do you have a stockpile somewhere?
I do now.
Oh, you do?
I just recently sourced it in a town about 30 minutes away, and you got to go through piece after piece after piece at like hundreds of pieces just to find like one piece, that will work. But one, chunk of wood will make 1,000 birds though,
Oh, wow.
So I'm pretty well. This is less than a nickel's worth of wood, but I mean, we cut all of these trees down in America 100 years ago. It comes from Canada.
Oh, okay. That's insane.
Yeah, these trees are like 10 feet wide.
And why hummingbirds? What's the hummingbird thing?
Just they're easier,
Oh, okay.
The ones that are more profound to me are like the sparrows, but they're the equivalent to like 3 hummingbirds as far as like pivot points and interlocks. They've got 3 pivot points and 3 different interlocks, but it looks like a full-blown bird,
Right.
And that pattern's unique to the guy who taught me and myself.
And is he still alive?
Yes.
Yeah, does he still do it?
Yes, he does.
Really?
He's like retired, built a treehouse in his front yard, and does like whittling classes, and that's his thing.
He just lives in the treehouse?
Well, he lives in a cabin.
Oh. I thought you meant he built a treehouse and that's what he lives in.
No, it sucks too because he invited me when he went to build it. I called him, but I was having some issues, relationship issues, and so like I wasn't able to go. But I wanted to go up there and help him build it. But yeah, he's super cool.
That's cool. And what's his background like? What is he? Is he
just a carpenter?
Just that's it? He doesn't even, that's just his business, is carpentry.
Master carpenter, like the master carpenter.
Really? And he taught you?
Mm-hmm.
So you seem like you're not native to Nashville, are you?
Negative.
No? Where are you from? You you kind of give off like a free soul vibe.
And I've spent most of my adult life in Colorado, a little bit of the West Coast, but I was born and raised in Indiana.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I've done a lot of traveling in between.
You just moving around? Wherever you go, you go?
Yeah, kind of.
Did you go to college?
No, I did not.
No? What? So high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
After high school, what'd you do? And what year?
Colorado.
What year was high school? From Indiana. We'll say Indiana.
I don't even remember.
One of the years?
Well, one of those years, yeah.
Yeah. So you just moved to Colorado. What'd you do, Colorado?
It's actually a long story, but I used to be a rather misguided young man, and I was in a lot of trouble growing up. And I actually took my last $200 and bailed on parole and dipped to Colorado.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was on
Are they still looking for you?
No, dude, I was on the run for 8 fucking years.
Wow, that's impressive.
8 years, and I fucking moved myself and my family back to Indiana from the state of Washington, and my sister who was visiting, and I gave her my old motorhome, and I had an Amazon business I'd been running for years, I was making really good money. And, I turned myself in after 8 years, finished up a 3-year prison sentence on house arrest somehow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Lucky you.
Cost me like fucking $10,000 in lawyers fees and shit, and another $15 just for the ankle. But
what can you? What was the crime? It was done now, so.
GTA, stolen auto parts, and dumb shit like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Stripping them, making like a chop shop?
Yeah, or collabing with others who do that.
Really?
Yeah.
GTA. I haven't heard that since like Boys in the Hood.
Yeah, I don't think it happens very often anymore.
No, it's kind of hard, dude. There's still cars? Why am I asking you? I'm sorry. I didn't know. I meant, I'm not referring to you like you would know, but, you live in the city, so that's why I'm asking.
You gotta chop them up quick, and everything's low jack these days. So.
Yeah, I live in Spring Hill, the country, so it's not like I know anything. I figured since you were just city.
Yeah, no, but I guess don't nothing stop.
Right.
Everything, they figure everything out, right?
But it's hard these days with cameras and shit,
So you had that down to a science?
Not really. I was fucking running wild.
Just take what you want.
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite vehicle to steal?
No, it wasn't like that.
No, just whatever you saw. If you had the opportunity, everything is right, you take it.
Nah. Yeah, kind of.
Kind of like that, yeah.
Yeah. Or, yeah.
That's cool.
But,
I mean, not cool, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
We all live and learn,
Yeah, no.
Stupid. Like, I used to steal everything, man. Like, ever since I was a little kid. And,
really?
Yeah, and finally I realized, like, you ain't got to take shit. People will just give it to you.
If you just ask. Just ask for it.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, thinking back, I'm just like, what the fuck was I thinking?
You would steal anything. It was like a klepto problem, or just
No, it was like I'd take like when smartphones come, I would just steal them and then I just throw them in the trash.
just to do it.
Yeah, I don't fucking know what was wrong with me, man. I was in big boy prison by the age of 15.
Wow.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
It's interesting.
Yeah, just another place, another time.
No, it definitely helped me, but I grew up, in foster care with no parents, and so like nobody ever taught or raised me or disciplined me, so I was just like fucking
doing whatever you want.
A little fucking bastard child.
That's so weird. When people have no guidance like that, they literally just kind of lash out at society and take it out on them.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
No guidance. No mentorship. I guess that's why it's important.
No guidance.
Yeah, no shit.
People are like basically like subject to whatever conditioning they receive. They are who their parents raised them to be.
Right.
You are your experiences basically. You only know what you know or what you've been taught.
Right.
And you don't learn anything by doing the right thing all the time. You have to like make mistakes to learn.
Mm-hmm.
You're not just gonna learn
by
doing the same thing.
Well, I have an extraordinary gift of learning through other people's experiences.
You're very fortunate,
right?
Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm
very I observe everything and I live everything.
Damn.
That's weird, right?
Yeah, I think I've just gotten to the point where I've fucked it all up, and I'm just kind of like starting to gain some wisdom.
Right. You seem like you got it together so far. I mean,
please.
You almost killed yourself on the standing chair. I give you that much that you're a little reckless. So you did 3 years, ankle bracelet,
Yeah.
probation.
We finished up a 3-year prison sentence.
It's
It's 2 for 1.
Did you say in Colorado?
Indiana?
Indiana. So you turn yourself in, and then what happens after 3 years?
I like got my life together, was like going to church and shit, and like fucking trying to raise my like doing good. I'd started another Amazon business, and I like made $77,000 selling one product in the first year. And my woman of 8 years, wife of 4, like went off the deep end, fucked me out of everything, took everything I had, cars, children, social security card, birth certificate, clothes, house, fucking everything. Lost
Wow.
everything instantly. And I was just so fucked up. You know, lost my goddamn mind.
Did you? Like
Yeah.
literally?
Like literally, like fucking went off the deep end. Like fell apart.
And what did you do? Just did you turn to drugs or alcohol? Or just
Drugs,
going reckless.
alcohol, fucking. I had a brand new Harley at the time, so it was like fucking 110 miles an hour everywhere, no stoplights, nothing. Like I just fucking didn't care.
So you're just in a bad place.
Bad fucking place.
Wow.
Bottle of Tito's a day.
What's Tito's?
It's like vodka.
Is it vodka?
It's like handmade.
I've never had a taste of alcohol.
Are you serious?
I've never had a taste of alcohol, not a drop.
How?
Yeah.
That is
We know another guy
commendable.
that's the same way, man.
Right,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
Are there
want to, or like what
never had a desire?
fuels like you've never just been curious?
Nope.
Why?
I have no idea.
Damn.
And it's all
Ain't that
around.
Crazy? That's always been crazy to me because I'd be like,
It just seems so far fetched. You know?
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Is that crazy?
You don't ever just like hey, you know.
Nope. No desire.
God.
No
don't.
urge.
You're gonna love it.
Really?
It's
So that's what I figured. I figured it would, I would just enjoy it so
like,
much.
when you start something
It's so
and
fun.
then you get so further in it, you just don't care. Like it's just one of those things where you
Yeah.
just don't. I used
Yeah.
to smoke cigarettes now. I don't even care. I don't even think about them.
Really?
Yeah, I just broke my alcohol addiction. Probably
You just got to get to that
5
point.
months ago. I went a year and a half fucking drinking a bottle of liquor a day, dude.
Really?
Yeah, I could have bought a house with the money I spent on fucking booze in the last fucking 2 years.
But I
Wow.
understand, man. You come from try to clean yourself. Clean yourself up, get yourself together, man, and then
Bam.
boom. What are you
Yeah.
gonna do it for?
Yeah.
But she fell in love with the bad boy I was when she met me, and I was on the run and shit. So like I
Right.
take her
Oh,
ass
so
from
you-
fucking smoking weed every day, fucking gangster this, gangster that, to fucking suit tie, fucking going to church and men's group on Tuesdays. And she's like, fuck, I was fucking gone.
Right.
Had her mom move to Indiana, fucking everything. It was bad. So bad.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane. And all this in such a short span.
Yeah, and I was like, I went like 6 months, just like fucking miserable. And I'm like, Keith, you gotta just find somebody, anybody. So I'm like, my ass fucking hanging out at Joanne's fucking Fabrics library trying to meet women. I'm like, I don't know how to fucking date. I hate bars,
Yeah. Hate bars. Love Tito's.
Tried the whole online thing. And it's like, this is stupid. You can't even buy a bitch dinner. Fucking. Like, I don't want to fucking chat to you on the phone. I'm like, you want to meet, coffee, dinner? It's just like, ghost. It's so stupid.
Right. Because you're looking for what you had
No, I was just
to
looking.
keep you comfortable.
Yeah, I was just looking at just a connection in life,
Right.
somebody to talk to, even. But yeah,
It's off the deep end.
off the deep end.
Take it from there. How long did deep end last?
Oh God,
If you say last week, I'm gonna leave right now.
probably like a little over a year and a half. But eventually, I met first and only female that like met me, like wanted to meet on Tinder. Tinder had just come out, and that's actually like I found out about it because my old lady was using it and cheating on me. Like after all those years, I'm like, what the fuck is Tinder? And I like, so I'm using it after the fact, and this like I'm 26 at the time, and this little 18-year-old girl Like, yeah, sure, it's cool as fuck. Like, comes over at like 2 a.m. And like, I just made her a burger, and I was cool as fuck, you know. And I was like, my drunk ass birth mother that I hadn't seen since I was like 6 calls me somehow. I guess my older sister, who's now doing 40 years in prison, gave her my phone number, and so she calls me out of the blue, and I'm like, and she lives in Florida, I guess, blah blah blah, and I'm like, well, fuck, I'm gonna come down and visit you, and like, I'm just like on the phone talking to her, and I look at this girl, and I'm like, hey, you want to go to Florida? And she's like, sure. I fucking pack my bags, we drive to her house, fucking, she grabs her shit, and we fucking drive straight to fucking Florida instantly, just like that.
Really?
I didn't know this girl. Fucking, she's 18, she got a like nice new car and shit, and fucking drive down to Florida, and I fucking meet my birth mother for the first time in 20 years, you know.
Wow. How'd that go?
That's how I got out of the funk, though. And it was interesting. She's the largest woman I've ever seen. She's like a fucking Viking. She's like 6'7". Like, her boobs are bigger than our heads.
Wow.
Fucking huge, strong woman. Nice as fuck until she like drinks a half a gallon of whiskey every night and just turns into a fucking monster. Scary monster.
That is scary.
Yeah.
Just went to Florida. How long that last in Florida? Or you just went down there just to go down there?
No, I
just
went down there. I got a job because I was a commercial plumber, so I can get a job instantly anywhere tomorrow on the spot. So I got a job, and I was remodeling the plumbing in these Burger Kings all around the state for about a little over 2 weeks.
Yeah?
Yeah, maybe like 4 or 5 weeks. And then my mom got real drunk and like fucking would not stop one night, and I'm like tired. I'm like, leave me the fuck alone, you know, like lock myself in the room. Bitch just like kicks the fucking door down, like, I'm like, oh my god. So I'm like, I'm just trying to make the best of it, laughing. Like, I'm like, damn, she's
Just kind of play it off.
Yeah, and
like
then,
she's gonna stop it any minute.
So like she's talking shit. So like, there's this big box of cherry tomatoes she brought home from the nursing home. She's a nurse that somebody given her, and so I'm like, she's talking shit, and I'm just like, what? And I just like start fucking, I'm like, what do you say to me? And I just start throwing these fucking cherry tomatoes at her, right? Because I'm like, I'm pissed. And I'm trying to like, I'm laughing. She's chasing me all around, drunk, falling and shit. I'm just laughing my ass off, fucking nailing her with these cherry tomatoes. Well, we go around the thing, and like, I think like I trick her, but like she's like fucking totally like double back on me, and she fucking grabbed me, fucking picks me up by my neck and just throws me on my fucking back with one hand.
Oh, wow.
Like, fucking bam, like wrestling status, dude. I'm like, I'm out of here. So I just packed my shit instantly and drove straight down to the Keys.
Wow.
Yeah, from Inverness. Yeah.
That's
Fuck you, bitch. I'm out of here. Quit my job. I just got paid. So I'm like, I went down to the Keys, and I'm like, fuck it.
I'll find something down here. Went to the Keys.
Well, I hoped.
Let me ask you this. My kitchen has a low flow right now on the sink.
Yeah.
The faucet thing. Is it the faucet or is it plumbing?
What do you mean?
The flow on it's really low. Like it just started being low.
You should check your your supply valve underneath the cabinet.
I opened that up.
You opened it up all the way?
Yeah, and all the rest of the house has perfect flow.
Did you clean the screen on it? Unscrew it.
It's yeah, okay.
And clean that little screen. It'll be better.
Cool.
Or you can do like on the commercial with the lime stuff and put it in there.
Oh, I need that. CRL. CRL. We're not sponsored by CRL. Okay, that's cool. So, back in the Keys. I was just checking because he's a plumber. You got any problem? Okay, you're good. Okay. I didn't know if your house was.
I'm looking for a new spot now.
So, yeah, and I knew I could get a job plumbing down there instantly, and like I was seeing online, like they were hiring plumbers like fucking crazy. So, I ended up getting like 2 jobs, like on the spot, just walking in down there, and but I needed a place to stay. And the one dude was cool, and he's like, I might be able to blah 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 blah, you know, and like so he was blah 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 blah, and fucking getting back to me, you know. I found this listing online for this sailing club, and it was basically like a work trade, like help us at the club, you know, do this, do that, volunteer, you know, 5 hours a day, you get room and board paid for, and 3 meals a day, you know. So I move into a shared space with like 2 sets of bunk beds in this like $7 million fucking condo on a private canal, and this dude owns like 20 like sailboats in his own private little marina, and he's got cabins and shit, and he like does these packages where people stay in the cabin and get a sailboat with the cabin, and people go like day sailing and shit. So I'm happy as a motherfucker. I'm working on sailboats all day, meeting all these cool people.
In the Keys.
In the fucking Keys.
Beautiful place.
Right on the beach, you know, like I'm working on the beach on these fucking boats. And then at night, like, there's a huge fucking mansion, like condo on a private canal with a 50-foot wooden sailboat, you know, docked right there in a tiki bar. And I'm like, fuck.
This is it. This is the life.
Yeah. And at this time, I still got that young girl with me, and she was way too immature for the situation. She was making me look bad as fuck, so I'm like, you gotta go.
Really?
Yeah.
So you let her go?
Yeah. and plus she, like, yeah. And so she leaves. I get into it with the owner. Just we butted heads, and like he like stood me up at like 6 a.m. And I'm just like, what the fuck? He's like, see, you waste your time, I waste my time, so I'll waste yours. And I'm like, that's fucking sour as fuck, dude. So like, I'm like, fuck it, I'll go. And so I left, and I was just mad at this point. Like when I got red hair, so when I get mad, I lose all reasonability. You know, like completely fucking unreasonable. And it still happens. But so I'm like, I got a few bucks, you know, like $50. That's it. And so like I stay at this campground, and I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do? I'm like, at this point in time, I've calmed down. You know? And so I'm like, I'm fucked. So I call the girl up. She had just gotten to Indiana, 26-hour drive, and I'm like, look, you gotta turn around and come get me. And she did. She fucking did. She turned right the fuck around and drove back and picked me up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where'd you guys go then?
Back to Indiana.
Back to Indiana.
We were both broke as fuck, so I fucking literally, it took us 5 days, and we were stranded until I could sell these birds. And,
really?
Yeah.
You had to whittle birds just to sell?
No, actually, no. We went to North Carolina. I had found this other place off at helpx.net, remodeling this farmhouse. And so we went to North Carolina, and we were there for like a week or so. And then I had her take me back to Indiana to get my truck, because my truck was still parked there.
Right.
And so I grabbed my truck and my stuff, and then I swung through Nashville to visit my sister. She used to live here.
Is this the one that's in prison?
Nope, my other sister. Just to see her, because I was kind of going right by, because I was on my way back to North Carolina. Stop here. This is a crazy fucking story, too. Stop here and hang out for about 3-4 days. On the day before I'm supposed to leave, me and my sister were having this fire with her best friend, her, and then her best friend's like dude at the time. And so all the wood is like wet, and we're climbing up and in and out of this tree, you know, breaking branches out and shit. And like I've gone up this motherfucker like 4 times, and on my 5th turn, like I'm getting higher and higher because all the limbs are disappearing. Like I'm so confident, and I like fucking was like showing off to my sister's best friend. She's super fucking hot. And like I fucking get to the top, the branch breaks, and I fall like 15 feet on my back. And I try to walk it off. I just walked off cool, didn't hurt or nothing. Like fucking, it just, like my stomach hurt. You know?
Oh, like knocked the wind out of you? Yeah, it took everything out of you.
I was like, I'm all cool, you know, and like I'm fucking like hurting like a motherfucker. Like 30 minutes goes by, dude. I'm just like rubbing my face on the carpet, and I'm like fucking, oh my god, dude, I fucked something up inside. And it wasn't my back, it was my fucking like right here. And so I'm like, look down, and it's like, and like I'm fucking at this point in time, like I can barely walk, and I'm like, I'm so much fucking pain, I can't breathe, like so much pressure. And I'm like, yeah, right, you gotta fucking take me to the hospital now. I'm fucking hit. And I'm freaking out because I know I'm hurt.
Right.
And get to the fucking hospital, and I'm like fucking out of my mind in pain. And in the emergency room, and fucking they thought I was like all fucking like drug, like strung out trying to get some drugs or something. And I'm like, no, like I'm fucking dying, people. And I'm like screaming at these fucking doctors. And so I just fucking passed out. And then I woke up with a fucking transfusion machine in each arm. And wow. I had ruptured the artery from my spleen to my heart. Jesus. And it was bleeding internally, and like almost fucking died. They're like, if you'd have fucking gone 30 more minutes, you'd have been dead.
Whoa, that's crazy.
And so I spent like 7-8 days in the ICU. They fucking went through my artery and my leg and like did some shit and tied me off, and like I'm like full of fucking blood, and I'm
Like
like,
it just built up with blood. In your
yeah,
stomach.
like a big belly of blood, and I'm like, where does it go? What did it happen? Like, is this gonna go away? You know? And they're like, oh yeah, your body will slowly like consume absorb it.
So you are you same size basically as you are now?
No,
With a giant belly of blood.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're just like small frame, giant belly of blood. That's gross.
It's so gross, and it turns into like a gel, like a hard. So it's like ugh, and like I can't breathe without like hurting, you know, and like you can't eat shit, and like fucking. So finally, you know, like they let me out, and I spent another couple days just in like the regular hospital, and they're pumping me full of blood and shit, and get out, and in this time, like I just fucked up on morphine, so I was like having these out of my mind conversations with my sister and her friend, like FaceTiming them and shit. And I'm like, damn, I really like your friend, Kara. And so like I get out and I'm fucking on these pain pills, so I'm not supposed to, like, and I was straight abusing the fuck out of them. And like I call them like, hey, these aren't working. You know, you got to give me something else. I can go get to, like something better. And so like I got like 3 prescriptions off the top in the first couple days. You know, just being an idiot. And so I stayed in Nashville for like 2 weeks at my sister's best friend's house and fucking fell in love. Like we fell in love so hard. It was so good. And
with a belly full of blood and opioids.
Still hitting that.
Right.
Yeah, no. I went back to North Carolina and remodeled this whole farmhouse for about 2 months. And every day I'm talking to this fucking girl, you know, FaceTiming her, and it's just like fucking gay almost. It's so gay. And eventually I'm like, I'm ready to go with the farmhouse, and I'm like, I'm gonna come visit you. And so I went and visited her, and like fucking, she's like, oh, I want to keep you, blah blah blah, you should stay. And I'm like, okay. So I got a job plumbing and stayed and pursued a relationship with her, and here I am.
Oh wow! So that's where we're at. So how did you get into this spot?
So
you're plumbing and you're with that chick.
Yeah.
You're not. Are you still? You're not still with the same girl.
No, we broke up a couple times. She did some fucked up shit, and then I went to Colorado to just get out of Nashville and visit some friends, and went to Colorado on vacation and came back, and like she picked me up from the fucking airport of all things. We tried it again, and then it's just like fucking everything fell apart. It was super dramatic. So we broke up again, and then that was like a week. It was like lasted a fucking week. And then I get this job. I didn't go back to plumbing. I get this job off of Craigslist helping this dude build his house, and he's like super fucking cool, super young, fucking architect, you know, and me and this guy proceed to, just me and him, build a fucking $750,000 house in East Nashville from the ground up.
Wow.
And so I built a house for 7 fucking months and like everything I didn't know about building, like I learned.
You found out quick.
Yeah, and it's like me and that dude did every fucking thing on this house, fucking roof deck, fucking 27-foot custom skylight. It was fucking awesome, dude. So I did that for 7 months, and that like, after just like the fact of building a house with one other dude and watching it all happen, like gave me like such manly confidence, you know, in my abilities and shit. And so I worked this other deal out with this other girl and like traded ownership of this property, this house in Antioch for about 5 months, and I turned a 3-story house or a 3-bedroom house into like a 5-bedroom Airbnb.
Oh wow.
And like I owned the property the whole time, and I rented out the rooms weekly. So I was like making fucking bank, you know, like I really wasn't getting paid for the work I was doing, but I was making my money that way. So I was actually like getting back hard. And so I did that. And then about the time that was over, Heather, my sister's best friend, my ex,
right,
and decides to move my sister and herself to Colorado spontaneously to take a job offered to her by her best friend in like the THC, you know, cannabis world, and stay on this farm. And so that's where we're at. I moved out of the Antioch house. It's kind of like, I guess you'd say like homeless, straight homeless for, probably a week and a half. But I was just like sleeping in it was summertime, it was just cool. And staying at friend's house and shit. And then so I was making listings and responding to ads and shit for like studio space. And Michael reached out to me because I just like listed some pictures of my bird and said, hey, trade carpentry or I got cash, because I had some money. And so he takes me to his house and wants me to do this. And he's like, oh yeah, and I got a building across the street. And I'm like, building? So we walk across this. It's literally right here, right there. So we walk over here and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what are you doing over here? And he's like, I don't know. I've been trying to do this, trying to do that, and da-da-da-da, and want to do like some pop-up craft shows on the weekends. And I'm like, oh, I got you. And so like I started doing some work over here that he needed because this place would need way more work than his house.
Right.
And so I did a bunch of work here, and like I knew the dude for 3 days, and he tosses me the keys and he's like, here, make something happen.
Here?
Doesn't even ask for my last name, signed as an ID, nothing. He just tosses me the fucking keys and he's like, here you go. And I'm like, whoop, move my ass right on in here.
Right.
Yeah, like he's got cameras in different parts. Like every time I came in here, I just fucking unplugged the cameras. Dude never said shit to me, like, cause I'm like, I feel weird, being camera when I'm,
Yeah.
And so like I'd come in here and work at my own fucking pace, help him with whatever you needed help with, and leave just often enough so it didn't seem like I was bumming around, and come back late in the evenings, and like he'd come back the next day and have a ton of shit done. He'd be like, damn. And so like I just like earned his trust and his respect, slowly.
He's a super talented guy.
It's insane. He's probably the most gifted musician of our time.
Yeah. How many was it, like over 4,000 placements on TV and film and
he's
something like that?
Yeah, he's a very, very special person.
Yeah, he is.
But he can write a song, play every instrument, and sing it, record it in hours. Like, insane. It's fucking insane.
Wow.
But, anyways, so, like, I mean, he's very, very offstandish and awkward as fuck for, like, 2 months. Like, wouldn't even respond to my text messages or anything. He's just a weird dude, but he's a fucking madman. Brilliant madman.
So he just left you in his house and business. And...
Well, no. Like he didn't know. Like
he didn't know you were. He thought you were just booking it.
Well, he fucking knew.
He knew, but he
knew, but like I was just fucking trick enough, but to like make it seem like I'm here moving shit in and out of my like tools and shit,
Yeah.
And I just like pass out in here and fucking. But I was working most of the time. But anyways, and then he was gonna rent me this studio across the street, and I was gonna stay in that, and then it's like he didn't know how he felt about that. Finally, I'm like, look, dude, here's some money, like let me rent. You're not using it, so I rent that, and I'm not supposed to be living in there, but I'm like, I create and build shit until I fall asleep, every day.
Technically,
like, I just sit down and I pass the fuck out,
and then wake up and get back to work.
I kind of gotta wake up, but so I was doing that, staying over there, making shit, and trying, like, I brought in probably like 6-7 people here that said they would manage it, run it, organize it, fucking be responsible, promote it, blah, blah, blah. And it's like I just tried to connect people to, like, do something with the space because I knew I didn't have, like, the responsible discipline to fucking, routinely maintain in this situation.
Right.
And several people tried, even moved this girl up from Alabama, like personally moved her up from Alabama and gave her free room and board. And she just like made all these promises and just like totally was fucking a bum. Didn't do shit. Embarrassed me. And that was like kind of like my first strike with Michael. He's like, dude, you vouched for her. And I'm like, I did.
I didn't know.
I did. But I didn't even fucking know her.
I didn't know she was a piece of shit.
She talked some good fucking game. I'm just like, she had me fooled. But she was... Yeah, anyways, so, yeah, and then I bought the bus.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, I met Kayla, a friend of the girl that I moved up from Alabama.
Sure.
And she's like...
And is that the
queen
girl
of
I met?
Yeah, she's like the queen of the creative community here. She's a celebrity, actually, and, like, I was attracted to her because, like, she fucking makes headdresses out of feathers, and, like, feathers are, like, my favorite thing before I met her.
Right.
And, so she wants a chance to like run it. And at this point in time, me and Michael are like, fuck, nobody's making this happen. We're just like, the art thing is just not working. So Kayla was like the last, shot we were giving people, and she fucked it off completely. But this was just late last couple months of last year, and bought the bus and
just been working on it. Now you take a tour bus and you gutted the inside.
No, it was gutted when I got it.
You got it. And what are you doing in the inside now?
Turning it into a custom live-in mobile studio.
All recycled wood.
Yeah, my goal was, and still is, and to do everything out of reclaimed, recycled materials. And the only thing I've had to pay for this far is hardware, screws,
right,
nails.
That's cool. And then, what is your idea with the bus gonna be?
Just to turn it into like a mobile creation studio, fitted for like video and music, like everything.
For who to use? Anybody?
Whoever.
Like rent it. Whoever's feeling creative.
Yeah, whoever.
Kind of give
whoever. Just to facilitate creativity. Whoever needs a space or comes along, or the universe sends my way.
You plan to travel with it, or
I don't really want to. Like I probably will take it like on a tour once, on like a schedule to hit like the different craft shows.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of want to do it coastal because I really don't like driving inland. Like I like the ocean if I'm going to be driving. But I've driven across this country and back like 4 times, so I'm like sick of driving, So I don't know.
You're just trying to be.
Yeah. So just trying to see what happens.
That's cool. What an amazing story. That was crazy. I did not expect that out of you. I expected college, family. I did Whittle and I learned, and that was it. I did not expect the cherry tomatoes.
I didn't expect to share like that. Really.
No, that's cool. That's great. I'm glad you did. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, you pulled it out of me pretty good.
That's pretty good. You get that? Did you see this one? Isn't that crazy? Right?
Tricky
It's
little fucker.
something. It's something. That's so cool. Well, thanks for sharing that, Keith.
Oh.
I'm glad we're here, and maybe I can take off where everyone else left off. Right?
Yeah. So
Take off where everyone else left off. How's that?
I like it. Yeah. So what's the pigeon's current creative ambition?
Just have them, raise them, have fun, and get you one.
Well, I'm talking like you being the pigeon. Like, what's your?
Oh, I'm the pigeon. This is it.
Yeah.
Podcast style. Just trying to get it out there, man. Just interesting people. Like, I didn't think I was gonna interview anyone I didn't know.
Huh?
That wasn't my plan. It was just to do people I know to get them knowing better.
Oh yeah. Well,
And,
now you know me.
No, it's perfect. That's awesome. I love it. Now we can do it again. Now we got that over with. Isn't that crazy, son?
My phone, man. I stuck in like this foreign charger at one of my pals' house.
Yeah.
Ruined my phone.
You got to buy a new phone now.
Are we done?
We are done. I appreciate that so much.
Thank you. I've been dying to do a podcast. in
Beautiful
this room.
soul. A beautiful soul you are.
First podcast down.
Thank you.
That one's for you, my guy.
Man, appreciate that.
Oh,
man.
wow.
I'm like,